It's not easy being the one.
All right. Good Wednesday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. We're halfway done with the week. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic Wednesday, even though with the severe weather and the severe weather, not really doing what we thought it would do. Definitely was a bit of an underperformance, but we'll talk more about that at the end. But let's go on and get started with this weather first. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, make sure you go and do so. Also, make sure you go and hit the share button as well, as we're trying to get to 400 and at least 25. That's the short-term goal. The long-term goal, obviously, is 500. But let's go on. I just put the poll inside the chat, so go on and answer that real quick. There we go. It's in there. So now let's go and talk about talk with the recorded audience for the people who cannot be here tonight. Good Wednesday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. Hopefully everyone has had a fantastic Wednesday, even with the severe weather. I am your meteorologist, Jesse Peterson. Let's go on and talk about the weather for your Wednesday evening going into your future. Now, looking at the radar right now for the entire state of South Carolina, nothing going on. We do have some weather going on for all the way up there into the northeast, some rain, snow going on up there in Maine. Also some rain going through Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, as well as New York, Pennsylvania, and snow going on in Wisconsin, Illinois, and Indiana. Also over here inside of Utah, we're getting some snow over there, rain going on inside of Oregon, Utah, Arizona, and California. Georgia also receiving some rain, as well as Alabama. And now going on, let's talk about our current cloud cover. Cloud cover right now, we do have some low clouds going through the upstate of South Carolina and portions of the Midlands, but overall, it's looking to be a pretty, kind of just like a pretty chill slash clear type day, except for if you're in these regions up here where it's kind of low clouds, but overall most of the state is clear. Here's your cloud cover for the future. And you want to push this forward, that cloud cover will continue, but as you get into tomorrow morning, cloud cover is really just starting to stay inside of the eastern side over there towards like Myrtle Beach, and then continuing through, going into Tomorrow night, just looking nice and clear. And then Friday morning gonna bring some more cloudy conditions. And then Friday night, same thing, just some cloudy conditions. Current temperatures right now, 52 in Columbia, as well as 55 in Eastover, 55 in St. Matthews, as well as 55 in Orangeburg, 55 in Bamberg, as well as 55 in Allendale, 57 in Holly Hill, as well as 59 in Moncks Corner, 57 in Somerville, as well as 59 in Allendale, 61 in Georgetown, 61 in Conway, as well as 61 in North Myrtle Beach and Myrtle Beach, 48 in Spartanburg, as well as 44 in Greenville, 46 in Clemson, as well as 46 inside of Anderson. We even do have 48 in McCormick, 52 in Aiken, 59 inside of Charleston, Key Island, Beaufort, and Hilton Head Island. Here is your low temperatures for tonight. Low temperatures 35 in Anderson, as well as 35 in Greenville, 35 in Spartanburg, as well as 36 in Rock Hill, 35 in Lawrence, as well as 36 in Greenwood, 38 in Aiken, 39 in Barnwell, 40 in Orangeburg, as well as 39 in Columbia, 38 inside of Winsboro, and 36 in Rock Hill, 40 in Sumter, 42 in Florence, 44 in Myrtle Beach, as well as 41 in Georgetown, 40 in Moncks Corner, 44 in Charleston, as well as 42 in Hilton Head Island. No precipitation is expected for the next 24 or so hours, so you will not need the umbrella with you. So now let's go on and talk about our future, because, obviously no rainfall is expected, no excessive rainfall, anything like that. That's not expected. As you go on, let's talk about what's going on for about the next 40 hours or so. As you go on and push this forward, there is not really a lot that we're looking at as we go through. And honestly, there might not be a drop of rain for about the next 44 hours or so. I mean, there will be some shower activity around South Carolina, but it's not really making its way in. I guess unless you count that little shower down there towards Beaufort around 2 o'clock in the morning, but that's going to be barely noticeable, and most people will be asleep at that time. But other than that, it's not really much to talk about. So let's go on now and talk about our long-term future. So just talking about what's going to happen past, today in the next 48 hours or so. As you go on and push this forward, there goes some more rain activity going on towards March the 9th as well. This could potentially bring some more thunderstorm activity. Probably not as prominent as today's was, which again, we'll talk about today's event in just a second. Once we get done with all this. But just continuing to push this forward some more. Then another one comes right after around March the 13th, and then even March the 15th, trying to bring some more shower thunderstorm activity at March the 17th as well. And then some cold air comes in by around March the 18th and the 19th as well. And other than that, that's pretty much it. Everything else is a bit too far away. Just a bit too far away. And that's going to go on and wrap up our future talk. So now let's go on and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Mr. Anthony says, good evening to you. Mr. Oliver says, good evening. So thankful things were not bad today. Thankful for that. And then Trail says, hi, Joseph, hello to you. And that's it. Nothing else inside the chat that we're looking for. I did ask a question inside the poll. Go on and talk about that. I will talk about the answers in just a moment, but first, I want to talk about San Antonio and Raleigh first, and then we'll go on and recap today's severe weather and stuff like that. We'll talk about what's going on throughout the entire U.S. and all that stuff. But San Antonio first, low temperature for tonight, 45, high temperature tomorrow, 77, and the low temperature for tomorrow night, 59. No precipitation is expected. Raleigh, low temperature tonight, 39. High temperature tomorrow, 55. And the low temperature tomorrow night, around 34. No precipitation is expected as well. And that's pretty much going to go on and wrap this up in terms of those two. No severe weather, obviously, expected for either location. And we're just going to go on and push through that. So I do want to talk about, real quick, just the severe weather threat for today. There was, the question I asked on the chat, did the severe weather do what you expected? And 25% of the people says yes, it did, while 75% says no. And I'm going to have to most likely agree with the people that said no, just because we had an enhanced risk of severe weather that said that hurricane force winds were possible, and yet some of us didn't even get to 50 or even 60 miles per hour, and hurricane force is around 75. Now, no shade to the National Weather Service or anything like that, but I will say that they forecasted every other region pretty well. It was just South Carolina. And I will say, South Carolina is probably one of the only states right now that has only 1,000 people without power. And South Carolina definitely got spared the most, definitely out of all the states. Like North Carolina still has 6,000 people without power. Tennessee has 11,000. Georgia has 3,500. Florida earlier had 6,000. Alabama earlier had like 22,000 people without power. Mississippi had somewhere in the range of around 5,000 to 10,000. Louisiana as well had a huge amount. Texas had 66,000 people without power earlier, if I'm not mistaken. Virginia right now has 4,000 as well, and South Carolina only had 1,000. So definitely the least amount of power was taken out here. Every other region got exactly what they were expecting. And one thing that I do think that saved us was that it was so early in the morning as well, because once it turned into the afternoon time frame, that is when most of the storm started to intensify. But at that time, it was already off the coastal regions, and North Carolina was seeing tornado warnings back to back to back, at least in the eastern portion. And they were seeing those hurricane force wind gusts of 70 to 80 miles per hour. So that's definitely why I think that we did not see the severe weather that we thought we were going to see. Other regions did. We just didn't. Even Virginia as well got what they expected as well. So even though, I guess we can just say that we got spared, everyone else did not as much. So overall, that is a good thing though. I don't think anybody's really complaining about that. Also, the amount of damage reports as well, and just storm reports that happened inside the state were also kind of a bit interesting. We had a couple of reports, and overall, not a lot of them were wind damage. I think we had maybe maybe around, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 storm reports. Only 9. Well, North Carolina had like around a good 30, 40, maybe close to 50 as well, and even a tornado report as well, just to the east of Charlotte. So, that's just what that is right there. And other than that, I think that's all I have to say on that. Let me check the chat one more time, see if we have anything else. I don't see anything else here really to say. So let me go on and talk about what's going on throughout the entire United States weather-wise. We do have some freezing going on still inside of Georgia, portions of South Carolina as well. Well, pretty much not even portion, but the entire state still can potentially see some gusty winds of up to 30, maybe even close to 40 miles per hour. You can see there at the bottom of the screen. And that could, again, just prime those wildfire conditions even more that we already have. Mild temperatures. Today, we have the heaviest rain, though, or the heaviest, pretty much like the heaviest rain that we will get will probably be in the Midlands, and then dry conditions will return with a gradual warm-up. And then the lunar eclipse is still next week. We're getting closer and closer to that. That will be around like 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, so that's soon. So make sure that you are watching for that as well, as that is next week. I think around March the 13th-ish. And that's going to go on and wrap this up. So I will be back tomorrow morning with another forecast update for our Thursday morning. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the forecast. If you did, make sure that you go and hit the like button and the subscribe button. If you did not, leave something inside the chat that says why. And I will be back tomorrow morning with your Thursday morning forecast update. Everyone have a fantastic rest of their Wednesday.